The fifth discipline to reignite your faith, Romans 12:13. The last discipline, share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. How do I do that? By paying it forward, because God has been good to you. Sooner or later, you're going to recognize that until you've found a way to make a meaningful contribution to your society, you'll have no fulfillment. Until you found a way to give back to the people around you, to your community, or to your world, your life is not complete. So my advice to you is to start developing the habit of sharing now. There are those who will tell you, you don't have anything to share because you don't have anything to give because you're poor. I'm here to tell you, you are already rich. You see, there will always be stuff for you to work on. There's always going to be a part of your life that needs to be refined and fine-tuned. But right where you are, right here, right now, you already have more than most. You are already in a good position to share. What? What do I have to share? I'm poor. I can see it in your faces. You're all looking at me with skepticism. So what do you have to share? I'll leave you with three things you can share. One, your time. Now, I'm not against entertainment and relaxation, but I'm telling you, friends, you will get a lot more fulfillment from building your dream than from entertaining yourself in time. There is a time for entertainment, there's a time to relieve tension, and then there's a time to build your future. So if you want to reignite your faith, I encourage you to look at how you spend your time. I'm not saying you need to spend 20 or 30 hours of community service. I'm saying find 1 hour a month and give back. Community service, helping feed the needy, helping your elderly neighbors, just 1 hour a month. And watch it grow. Watch what it does to your own heart. Watch what it does to your own sense of worth, and watch what it does to your faith. What's the second thing you can give? Your talents. Right here in the room, I'm looking at some doctors, some nurses, some engineers, some musicians, some great painters, great artists, great conversationalists, great motivational speakers. I'm seeing all kinds of talents here. Do you know that the world needs you? And if you were to give just a little bit of that talent, the amount you would get in return would be fantastic. You have so much to share. And thirdly, yes, you can share your resources. Yeah, I know, you're looking at me and you're thinking you're poor, you've got nothing to give. But I'm here to tell you, you have enough that you can share a little bit. I've discovered that there will always be something I could spend all my money on to satisfy me. Let's do a test. If I gave you $1 right now, would you know how to spend it on yourself? Let me show by show of hands. If I gave you $10, would you know how to spend $10 on yourself? If I gave you $100, would you have ideas of how to spend $100 on yourself? If I gave you $1,000, would you know how to spend $1,000 on yourself right now? If I gave you $10,000, would you know how to spend $10,000 on yourself? You're telling me you're running out of ideas at $10,000? If I gave you $100,000 right now, would you know how to spend it on yourself? $100,000. Let me see by show of hands. Man, I can see the plans in your eyes. They are unfolding like dreams before me. So the lesson here is that, folks, you will never run out of ideas for how to spend every single dollar on yourself. So is the moral of the story that I need to wait till I have $100,000 cash before I can give $1? Folks, wherever you are, with whatever you have, you already have enough to share a little bit. And I want to tell you, the greatest fallacy in life is to think that you don't have enough to share and that what little you can give is too small, so you're embarrassed. What little you have, share it. Share it. And you know what's most precious that you have that you can share? The verse actually concludes with this. It says, practicing hospitality. Do you know the greatest gift you can give to people on campus, people in your community, is just opening your door? Do you know how many people on campus or in your community right now, the greatest thing they want is just someone to talk to? Someone who will open the door and say, come on, I see you hanging out over there. No one's really paying attention to you. You're far away from everyone you know, from everything you know. Your culture is different. Why don't you come over and spend some time with us? Hospitality could be your greatest gift. And that doesn't cost you much. Maybe pride, maybe a little courage, but just opening up your door and having someone come in and spend a little bit of time with you, you would be amazed how much more grateful they would be to have spent quality time with you than have received $1 from your pocket. Now there's an interesting thing at the end of this particular verse, verse 13 of Romans 12. It says something about practicing hospitality to the people of God. Now, of course, we know and we understand that here the admonition is not that we should only be serving the people of God. I mean, Jesus himself says it, if you go and you visit the sick and you feed the needy, as long as you've done it for the least of them, you've done it for me. So we know God wants us to please and try to serve everyone, but he says, don't neglect the people at home. So here's the PowerPoint. If I ask many of you, what do you want to do for the world? You'll tell me you want to get on a plane and fly halfway across the world for some missionary trip. It speaks to your sense of discovery, your desire to go out into the world and to discover more, and that's good. But do you know there are people right here in your community who need your help? Do you know there are people right here in the city who don't eat, who have no place to sleep? I don't even have to go that far. Do you know there are people right in your home who could use a little bit more kindness from you? So many times, when we think about helping, we're thinking about helping people who are far, so far we don't even see them day to day. But the right here people, the people you see every single day, you neglect the most. So I want to invite you today to share a smile, kindness, love, mercy, compassion with the people you know and love. I want to encourage you today to reignite your faith, to start by showing love to the person right next to you. Your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your classmate, your roommate. Start not so far, but start a little bit closer. And I promise you, you will see when you start to plant seeds of love in the people within arm's reach, you will change the world one group at a time. If all of us did this, the world would be a much better place.